Hello to the world and to the kingdom citizens. I greet you in the precious holy name of Yeshua Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, who said in his word, John 8:32, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Hi, I'm Dr. John Curry, Ambassador, and welcome to the embassy of the kingdom of heaven on earth. If you want to follow this podcast, please subscribe to JC Global Embassy TV1. Ring the bell and hit the thumbs up button. Today's topic is for black people only. For black people only. And we're going to get into some of the things that have been said concerning Africa and what they feel about those of us that are in the diaspora, especially in America. Some of the greatest leaders of blacks in Africa, of the most greatest continents in the world, said about blacks who was brought to America as slaves. They are apologizing to us for selling us 400 years ago. They said they put up a strong resistance, but the Europeans had guns. They said they never forgot about us. In fact, they brag about us, how we fought for our freedom and how we built America as they too can build up Africa again. Africa is truly the mother of all civilization and has been feeding the world for thousands of years. Black leaders are resetting their leadership as black American must reset ours. You see, they're resetting their leadership in Africa right now because in Africa, there's a lot of corruption. And in Africa, there are a lot of people taking advantage of other people. And I believe we in America need to reset our black leadership so that we can move forward and do what we need to do. As Africa is being ruled by the same European puppet masters, we're going through the same European puppet masters here in America. You see, there are the same ones that have been feeding black leaders corrupt leadership with the same old things. Some of our black leaders are settling for bright, pretty, shiny things as they are being fed by the 5 Ps. Many black leaders want power. They want prosperity, popularity. Many want prestige and pomposity. This is the same thing that they're giving to those leaders over in Africa. It is called the 5 Ps. You see, it was Professor P.L.O. Lumumba who said Africa is learning how to sit at the dinner table of civilization. He went on to say that there are only 3 seats available at the table. He talked about the diner. He talked about the waiter. Then he talked about the food to be eaten. You see, as black people, we will no longer be the food of $1.5 trillion a year that is being eaten up by all other race groups and not ourselves. We will no longer take our $1.5 trillion and go give it to the Asians, go give it to the Hispanics, go give it to the Arabs, go give it to every other group but ourselves. Soon as we get paid, our money go direct deposit, and before it even get in the bank good, we're up shopping at everybody else's stores and wonder why our communities are dilapidated. Wonder why we have all this drugs and violence going on in our community. We must stand up, reach up, ask God for help as we heal and build our own black nation within our community. We must become the diner, the food to be eaten. In other words, we will no longer pass our food on to other groups while they're eating off the $1.5 trillion. And many of us are fighting to get home. We're scared of our own children, scared of our own neighborhood. We must unite. You see, the same people who are robbing Africa are the same of their minerals and wealth. These are the same people who are robbing black people and of our financial wealth and our human wealth. These are the same people, the same European puppet masters. We have been played for 400 years. We should have listened to Kwame Nkrumah over in Africa. We should have listened to Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We should have even listened to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King when he said, we need a time to heal and build ourselves. We must move to start the process of colonizing Africa in America. That's what I said. We must move to start the process of colonizing Africa in America, just like the Asians are doing, the Chinese are doing. And China right now have Chinatown. You got Hispanic Town. You got all these other groups that are pooling their monies together, and they're coming to take over America or colonize America to their own culture. And here we are as black people 400 years later, and we're still waiting on people to come and rescue us. I just want to let you know they're not coming. We must begin to help ourselves. No longer will we continue to pay for our own destruction by buying from other groups. That's what I said. We should not pay for our own destruction by buying from other groups. We must reset and reconnect back to the land of black. That's back to Africa. We are descendants of land where people where that have diamonds and gold and minerals underneath their feet. We are not a poor people, not only on the continent of Africa, but throughout the diaspora. The diaspora itself have 250 million people. Some say 240, 250 million people of black people all throughout the world on the seven continent. We must be aware of that, and we must reset and reconnect with black people all over the world. You see, H.R. 1242 from 1619 to August of 2019 got us here in the United States for 400 years. We're here 400 years, and if you look at our condition has not changed that much. Matter of fact, our condition has only given us integration, and we thought we was doing something by integrating with the white man, our enemy. And that's what I said, our enemy, because he's not trying to help us. He's not trying to do anything for us. And that's why I go back to Marcus Mosiah Garvey when he said we shouldn't have to ask for our place nor beg for our place, but make and take our place. This is something we should have done back in the early 1900s, really around in the late 1800s as we was doing, but cities got bombed and places got torn down concerning Black Wall Street and Rosewood. But we're awake now, and I was telling a young person, it's one thing to be awake or to be woke, and it's another thing to be woke and awake and doing something to change your community. So I want you to understand that we must, in order to get all of this done, we must learn to show black love for one another. We must show black love for one another. We cannot let religion hold us back. We cannot let, well, I'm a Baptist, or I'm a Presbyterian, or I'm a Muslim, or I'm a Jew, or I am a Koji, or I am a Church of God in Christ, or I am a holiness. We cannot let any religion hold us back anymore. We must understand what the Word of God says. Let every man work out his own salvation with fear and trembling. We got to come off of that, because when we come off of that, then we can begin to see ourselves as a part of ourselves and begin to love ourselves even more. Religion is your personal belief to God, but you are still black. Let me say that again. Religion is your personal belief to God, but you are still black. It does not matter your religion, your fraternity, your sorority, your politics. Doesn't matter if you're poor or if you're rich. You are still going to be attacked by the white man. He's coming in those paddy rollers, riding in those paddy wagons, just like it was on slave plantation. He's coming in order to do anything he can to disjoint you, to disjoint us, to keep us divided, so he can continue working his divide and conquer strategy of white supremacy. You see, the strategy has always been was to divide black people among themselves. He wanted to divide black women against black men, black boys against black girls. You know the Willie Lynch letter. He wanted the old to go against the young, and the young go against the old. He wanted those that are dark-skinned against those that are fair-skinned, those that are short against those that are tall, those that are smart against those that are not so smart, those that live on the plantation and those that live in the field. He wants you and I, black people, to be divided against one another, because when we are divided, he controls. The white man knows that when black people come together, there's no power on earth that can stop us. Everybody knows that. When the playing fields are equal, nobody on the planet can deal with us, because we come from great world civilization. We must not let any group divide us anymore. We must not let any group divide us anymore. No sorority, no fraternity. We must not let the Democrats or the Republicans divide us anymore. Independent. We can't get caught up in that. We are a people, a great people that came from a great continent, that came from a great land of the blacks, and we must unite on every front so we can help build and heal our black nation within this nation. We must not let any group divide us because we're all suffering from the same thing. Black people, no matter where you at, no matter what, if you're in the north, the south, the east, and the west, no matter if you're in Asia, Germany, no matter if you're in Great Britain, we're all suffering the same thing. And that suffering is political oppression, economic exploitation, social degradation disguised as integration. You see, the pendulum has changed. So let us do what we need to do, because the word of God says the last shall be first and the first shall be last. We are now moving towards being who we were, who we are, and who we will become. I want you to be encouraged about that, because the pendulum has changed. Now is our time to lead the world again. I want you to understand that. Now is our time to lead the world again. But before we can do that, we must examine the psychology of black love for ourselves. I want you to hear that now. But before we can do that, we must examine the psychology of black love for ourselves. Do we really love each other? Are we really supporting each other? Are we really helping each other? Are we doing the absolute best that we can help each other? Are we thriving together? Because this love is not a romantic type of love. This love is how we come together comprehensively and holistically. This type of love for ourselves will call us to love each one of us as individuals, as well as to love each other as a group. This is a change of mindset. We can no longer be polluted by the psychosocial brainwashing of the media. We can no longer be polluted by the psychosocial brainwashing of religion. We can no longer be polluted by the psychosocial brainwashing of this one is better than that one. We must love ourselves. We must help each other. We must help build each other up. We must not only get self-esteem, but we must also get black esteem. That's loving each other as black people so we can help each other do better as we move forward. You see, we can no longer continue to kill each other over drugs, guns, while living in poverty. We must not do that. We must be able to pull ourselves together. We must begin to trust each other. We must begin to help each other. And the more we do that, the more we can strive to pull each other up. We must also understand that there are a lot of landmines and traps against us in our own community. See, in order for us to be able to move in the direction we need to move into, we must get rid of these landmines and traps, which are set up in order to put us in the American new prison industrial complex. Well, what are these landmines and traps? These landmines and traps are drugs and guns being brought into our community. We don't have gun manufacturers in our community. We don't have opioids and all of that plants, poppy seeds in our community. We don't have the coca bush in our community. We don't have any of those things in our community. Those things are brought to us. They're brought from Peru. They're brought from Mexico. They're brought from different places. The guns are brought from gun manufacturers that are bringing them in, and how some of them are parking van loads of guns and weapons, selling them to different individuals in the neighborhood. They're giving us guns to kill ourselves. They want us to destroy ourselves. Well, why do they want that? They want that because as long as a black man around, he's a threat. His mere presence is a threat. And more than being a threat physically, he's a threat genetically. They want to destroy our genes. They want to destroy our women's genes. They want us to go in on each other. This is why they celebrate you when you decide that you want to be homosexual. They celebrate you when you decide that a man love a man and a woman love a man. They celebrate that. They promote that. Well, why is that? It's because they want us to become unisexual. When we become unisexual, we can't reproduce. When we can't reproduce, our numbers go down and stay down. And therefore, it feeds into their white supremacy dominant. No, we cannot allow that to happen. And this is why I'm talking to you right now. The black community should be the safest place in the world as we show black love towards each other. Yes, black love will make the difference. Let me say it again. The black community should be the safest place in the world as we show black love towards each other. Well, how would that happen? It would happen when I was growing up. We didn't have all this stuff we have in today. Growing up in Jackson, Mississippi, right next to Jackson State University, and even at the college and even in other neighborhoods, it wasn't just black men gunning black men down and black women cutting up each other and black women putting each other down. We had love for each other. Love for each other is what would change it. We must be responsible. I say to you, we must be responsible for our own children as well. We cannot let any other group tell them who they are. You have to understand that the educational system is a Euro system that's designed to keep you as a black man or black woman under control. Have you ever noticed that as soon as you get your degree, you still can't find a job? Have you ever noticed that even when you get your degree that they still call you the N-word, they still treat you like a dog? Because the Euro system is designed to keep you in control for the Europeans. It's not designed so you can get out and create wealth for yourself. That's why our children must be told who they are. Our children must be told where they came from. Our children must be told where they're going. Therefore, our children must receive education for black liberation. That's what I said, education for black liberation. Other than that, you're just being a nice slave on plantation America. You see, now is our time. Hear me now. Now is our time, black people, to lead the world again. This is our time. Everything is coming back to black. Everything is coming back to black. It's our time to lead the world again. And this leadership must start with black love. We must begin to love each other more than we ever did. We must do this. All of the race groups love themselves. They love themselves. The Chinese love themselves. The Asian love themselves. The Caucasian, European love themselves. The British love themselves. The Irish love themselves. Every other group love themselves. Hispanic love themselves. But we have been trained under the curse of Willie Lynch to hate ourselves. But God has given to you today a new day to start loving yourself. Just do something good for black folks. One love, Team Black. And when we begin to love ourselves, we'll begin to stand up as a people and let the world know who we really are. So this leadership must start with black love. That means that we must think black. We must speak black. We must be black, buy black, support black, one love for black, spending our money with only black people. This must be done in a 50-state strategy. And yes, we must fight back. And if we can do it in the 50-state strategy here in the United States of America, most certainly we can take that strategy to the continent of Al-Kabulan, which is the original name for Africa. The Greek name for the continent is Africa, but the original name is Al-Kabulan, the land of the blacks. If we can do it in America, we can do it in the land of the blacks that house 54 nations. I want you to understand that we will fight back. It's our time to fight back. No longer can we consistently wallow in the mess that we're in because we was brought here through forced migration. And many would say that we're prisoners of war. We are prisoners of war in America. So therefore, we must be able to fight back. We will fight back economically. We will spend our money with only black people. We will fight back politically as we vote as a black bloc for our own interests in our community and our own interests as a people. Yes, we will fight back on every front. It's our time now. Fight back on every front as black people. We have the DNA of the first world builders of ancient world civilization. As our forefathers have built in antiquity, I believe so can we build now as we colonize the great continent of Africa and to these Americas. So I want you to be able to understand that this is our season as black people. This is our time to thrive. This is our time to go forward. This is our time to let the world know who we really are. And we are of the ancient people of the ancient continent, the black civilization of Imhotep, the civilization of Mansa Musa, the civilizations of Queen Makeda, Queen Cleopatra. We're of the great 31 dynasties. We are the descendants of those great people during the time of antiquity. And I believe as we did in the past, so can we do now. So to all you black people that have heard this or listening to it, I just want to let you know, this is our mantra: one love, Black nation, building time.